People talk about you probably because of two reasons.
Gossip about you? Two reasons revealed.
Finally! You guys are just unaware of how many takes I even tried for this video to be made possible. I tried taking 4 times, I guess. This is the fourth one. That's okay. What matters is I completed the video. This is the outcome. People talk about you probably because of two reasons. The first is they saw something within you that they don't have. And the second is people talk about you because they lost the ability to talk to you. And if they still talk to you right in front of you and behind your back, then you must be flattered. You should be flattered because that is where they truly belong, behind your back. Slay, 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 slay. And in the context of betrayal, hurt, or pain to be experienced by anybody, I would never take that experience for granted. Because for me, I would rather seize the opportunity so well that it becomes similar to that of a badge of honor. Life puts you down. So what? Get up. Like, seriously, get up. If I were you, I would really, really grab the chance for me to be declared as the victor and not the victim. Because I would rather be the victor, the victorious one, than the victim. Look, sweetheart, nobody, and I tell you that nobody is actually interested in listening to your own sob story. All people would only want to see is how you were able to handle the issue and how you were able to manage and walk away while holding the trophy of glory. And you have to show that to them. You have to show that to those people who abandoned you, who made fun of you, and who made you as the antagonist in their own fabricated stories. Does it really matter if you're the villain in their own story? God is actually fully aware of everything. Every reason, every reaction, everything that took
Omniscient,
place. He's
omnipotent.
the and the for a reason. And like I always say, as long as you were never the villain in God's eyes, because you know it deep inside that you were never the villain, and you will identify that. So, as long as you were never the villain in God's eyes, you already won. So now that you're here, allow me to share 5 strategies for you to emerge to come out as the victor rather than the victim. Number 1 is to let go and let God. Time is the ultimate truth teller. Again, why are you worried about those people? You just let them. About the situation, you just let it be. If those people are smart enough, then they will realize that they did you wrong and they will apologize. And if they ever apologize to you, you have to accept it, forgive them, and move on. God will reward you if you forgive genuinely. And yeah, the setback was really bound to happen because God already planned where you are supposed to land in this life. He planned the best for you. And besides, forgiving is beautiful, like me. Because once you're able to do that, you're freeing yourself as well. And from freeing yourself, you become victorious. With or without apology, you become victorious as long as you keep your faith in God. Number two, get out of the cell. Instant gratification is an instant prison, regardless of whatever it is that happened. If people did you wrong, then we as humans, we have this tendency to feel down, to grieve, to be depressed, and that is literally normal. Who would be happy if they received backlash for the first time in their life? However, don't let it carry your emotions. To seek comfort in a short span of time, which will eventually lead you to damage yourself. So, no devices, no drugs, no drinking, no smoking, and
Tear you
no
down,
doing
tear
anything
your
that will
dignity and your reputation.
more so your whole existence. And you must be fully aware of whatever it is that I am talking about here. But Zircon, this is the only way for me to escape. This is the only way for me to relieve myself. Oh, shut up! Shut up! That's so low. There are numerous ways for you to handle that situation without bringing any intoxicating substances to yourself. Your argument is invalid. Because what are prayers for? What are what are meditations that come in the form of prayers for? What are natural remedies for? Although the answers are already apparent to you, you have the tendency to make things more difficult, to make it more complicated. Don't be like that, sweetheart. Don't be like that. In the long run, those instant gratifications will lead you to your instant death, not just prison, but death. You think it's gonna be worth it to die instantly while not being able to live life filled with worthwhile experiences? And if your definition of worthwhile experience is all about getting wasted all the time, then leave me alone. Just kidding. You need to seek help from a therapist because that is clearly not normal. There's a tendency for you to become a drunkard because, come on, let's face it, drinking a lot could lead to addiction to that sort of vice. So, like I said, you need to do some therapy, and then we'll also have this one on one deep talk. There's this another form, let me say, instrument of instant gratification, and that's no other than cell phones. Actually, there's no problem when it comes to using your phones. As long as it's not making your screen time reach a minimum of 12 hours and a maximum of 15 to 20 hours, then we're all good. That amount of screen time that I have mentioned, it's only applicable to those who work using their phones. However, if you're only using it for mindless scrolling just for entertainment, then honey, I think it's time for you to go outside and touch some grass. And you will definitely love the smell of grass and its texture. Don't worry, it won't turn you into a cow anyway. I could still recall that when I was at the lowest of the lows of my life, I forgot that I have a life to live, dreams to chase, and goals to accomplish. I actually forgot how to socialize. I forgot to open up to people that matter to me, to people who acknowledge that I exist. Because I tried opening up to those people in the past, however, I felt like I was disregarded. So I prisoned myself inside this phone because I felt like it was the only instrument that could understand me. But it didn't because it held me captive instead. Now that I am at this point of my life wherein a good quality of people were left to be a part of my life, I also started waking up in the morning after praying Fajr or the morning prayer in Islam. I go outside for a walk. And you know what? I don't meet a lot of people outside. You know what I meet instead? Cats. And I get surprised that they suddenly walk along with me after greeting them and they let me pet them. Here in our village, people wake up at approximately 6 a.m. because maybe they were too exhausted due to their work's demands the day before. That's what I have observed on weekdays. So during those weekdays, I am the only one who's present in the 5 a.m. club. As for the weekends, no, not the weekend, but weekends like Saturdays and Sundays. People wake up early and we all become a part of the 5 a.m. club. Isn't that nice? Number three, don't starve. Feed yourself and your soul. After my morning stroll, I immediately go home and prepare my own breakfast. Just eggs and bread, it's already enough. Because I would rather fill my stomach with food than let myself starve. I've read in the article written by Vogue World that nutritionists and pharmacists like Leticia Carrera, the director of the Felicidad Carrera Beauty Center in Madrid, they were able to identify the importance of breakfast as it helps people to be less grumpy and are mentally healthy, which translates to less depression. So it's safe to conclude, although it might not be applicable to all, that if you eat breakfast in the morning, not in the afternoon, not having brunch, but breakfast, like literally breakfast, you will be happy all day. To those who are starving themselves, skipping breakfast, meals, y'all are just poisoning your body and your mind. Starving yourself won't help you. It'll drag you down instead. And keep everything in moderation because too much could also lead to lots and lots of health complications. Aside from being able to feed yourself in the morning, you should eventually find yourself to pray and be thankful to God as well because He's the one who provides food for you. And that is one way to feed your soul through prayers. As a former teenager who used to be so concerned about her body image, because I really wanted to have that hourglass body shape or body type, I actually tried drinking tomato shake without having any solid food intake. And guess what? I almost had a meeting with the angel of death. That was also the same time that I realized that not all diets are applicable to me, that not all diets are suitable for me. And if you go on a diet, you don't straight up drink a tomato juice fresh from the blender. Or else, you know.
You will meet Angel of Death.
Luckily, I was saved by that 1 tablespoon of sugar. Anyway, number four, take a break, but do not quit. Sometimes people think that if you surrender, then you lose. No, that's not true. The only time you lose is when you quit. Surrendering doesn't necessarily equate to you quitting, for it could also mean that you could be just taking a rest. Even a wounded soldier needs to take a rest because if they continuously engage in a battle, then they will never be able to see the sunrise again. Unfortunately, others take rest for granted, but don't be like them. You should be able to recognize and acknowledge your full recuperation. When will you, the soldier, be able to fight the pending battles in your life again? Are you sure that you got a good amount of rest? Because you can't keep on dodging the challenges in this life. And at the same time, you can't keep on consecutively combat or fight them. Take a break, pause for a while, because little do you know, that significant pause might bring you significant strategies which could lead to significant results. Shouldn't you also observe before fighting? Inspect and take a closer look? Is there another cunning tactic that I could employ in this circumstance? Number five, Take charge of your life and be grateful for it. Life is a gift. Make the most out of it and use it well. Always show gratitude to things that happen to you. In Islam, we are fond of saying Alhamdulillah, which means praise be to God. Something good happens in your life, you just say Alhamdulillah. Something bad happened in your life, still Alhamdulillah. In taking charge of your life, it is undoubtedly known that you know what works best for you. All of your life choices are actually made by you. So you need to be firm and you need to stand on your own ground once you've made up your mind. Sometimes it is actually good to take advices, but it's not to the point where you become dependent of what you have heard from other people. You can take advices for the sole purposes of helping yourself navigate through life. You can also use that to weigh the pros and the cons. And if you ever get confused because you're stuck in a dilemma, then you could just get a coin and let each side of the coin correspond to the choices that you have. For example, you are stuck between pursuing law or medicine. So, heads for law and tails for medicine. If you flip the coin and the decision is okay with you, I had heads, so I gotta pursue law. Go pursue it. However, if you got disappointed, oh, I got heads. Then there you go, you probably had your own decision. Because what you might really want for the outcome is actually the tails. So, if you got disappointed, just go with the opposite one. Because you already had it there, the answer's already there. So, you do this accompanied with your prayers to seek God for guidance as well. Eventually, life will try to knock you down, but what matters the most is how you rise. Remember, you are not defeated unless you would like to be announced as the loser in the situation. Being a victor and not the victim is actually a choice. Your hardships are victories over adversity. Show those who doubted you that you have emerged while you are holding the trophy of glory. Because in the grand scheme of things, it's about who you are in God's eyes and not theirs. Every obstacle encountered along the way can help you get stronger because life is a journey. So you have to remain strong and be obedient and never forget that you are already victorious in God's eyes. You are not a victim. You are the victor. Congratulations.